welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all well. Today we're going to tie a dry fly, an ephemera, and it's called the tobacco fly. Now in the vise I have a size 16 dry fly hook, and I'm tying with 10-0 light beige thread. I'm just going to start that just a little bit back from the eye. And put the excess in the spring. Right, now for the tail I'm going to use some coq de lion, and the tail on the tobacco is quite long, and I'm going to tie this in and wind down to the rear of the hook shank. Like so, and I'm going to put a wrap underneath the tail to separate it and tie down like so, and trim up the excess. Now for the body I'm going to use some silk, and this is quite an old silk. It's about 100 years old, and it's quite fragile. I continue to use it because it is perfect for a tobacco fly. So I'm going to just take out one of the strands because it's a little bit too thick as it is. I'm going to just square off the end for tying in. Bring the thread back up to the thorax area. Pull it to length. And bind down to the rear of the fly. Bring the thread back up to the front. Right, I'm going to try and flatten this out and hope it doesn't break. As I said, it's very fragile. Up to the thorax area. And tie off the silk. And trim it up, and tie on the rib. And tie off the rib, and trim it up. Right, now you may think that this is quite dark for a colour tobacco, but when this fly was named in Spain, I'm sure that it was many years ago, and tobacco was a whole lot darker. It didn't go to the sort of colour that we're talking about in modern cigarettes until probably the 70s. So certainly a lot darker, and that's why I like this particular silk for the fly. Right, now I'm just going to add a little bit of thorax, and I'm going to use the dark part of hare's ear. I'm not going to put on too much. Because I will be putting on the wings in just a moment. Like so. I'll take off the excess. And now for the wings I'm going to use a couple of CDC feathers. Just going to marry up the points like so, and pull back the fibres that I'm going to create the wing with, and I'm going to cut out the points which will leave me with the longer fibres to create the wing. I'm going to tie that in. Make sure that the stalk is pulled through, like so, and tie down the CDC and trim up the excess stalks, tidy up. Right, now I am going to put on just a little more dubbing. This dark hairs here. Seems to have got twisted. That's it. A bit more behind. And a bit more in front. And tie off the fly, and I'm going to use a half hitch tool to do that. Like so, and trim up the tying thread. I'm just going to brush out the dubbing just a little to create the thorax and the legs, and I'm going to add just a little bit of glue to the knot to secure it. So make sure the eye is clear. And I'm just going to trim up the wing. Let's have a look at this fly. And there you have the Tobaco ephemera. Now this fly has been known to come out in our northern rivers on a sunny day as early as February. So really, now is the time to be tying them and get some in your box. Thanks very much for viewing. Hope you enjoyed the tying. Don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.